Howdy, this is Robert, the Recreational Woodworker, owner of Dailey Woodworks. Today I want to tell you about my lumber rack that I have. It takes up a large portion of my shop, and like most shops, everything's about compromises. And while this isn't what I would want in my dream shop, it works in my small 2.5 car garage shop to handle the volumes of material that I handle. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. Before I get to that, I also want to invite you to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we have a private Facebook group called the Recreational Woodworker that's all about woodworking tools, projects, shop improvements, all that kind of good stuff. And of course, we have our website, therecreationalwoodworker.com, where you can buy a set of plans to some of the projects we build. So let's get started. So my lumber rack is 3 main sections, and I just kind of built it in a way that made sense at the time. I would love it if I could develop one of these that rolled around, maybe took up a little less space. I think I'm going to work on that in the future using a scaffolding system that I don't use anymore. But for now, this is what I have. So I have my lumber, which goes right here. This is my dimensional lumber. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shelves. I built this to ultimately hold a full unit, 120 sticks of 1x12 pine, because that's what we use the most in our dog kennel production. Now I'm only stocking about 50 sticks of that at a time. Even though I was saving money, it just took up too much space and I didn't have room for other things as well. So I try to keep my pine on the bottom. These bottom 2 shelves are typically pine and offcuts. I keep this shelf empty for current builds that require hardwoods. Like right here I have a bunch of walnut. I've got some 12-foot maple for face frames. Above this is kind of another overflow that I use for a lot of tongue and groove boards that I keep. And then I have some oak right here that I really need to move to a different spot that's kind of just in the way right here. And then I have my big 8-foot track because I don't have, or 10-foot track, because I don't have a place to put it. The next section I have is for my plywood. I keep whole sheets here, and then I do half sheets and offcuts right here. I like this as a whole. I wish I had a different way to handle my 3/4 inch plywood because it's kind of heavy in my shop by myself, but I do have one of these, what is this, a Gorilla Grip I think it's called, panel carrier. These are awesome to have, but it's hard and just kind of cantankerous to move a sheet of plywood out, to walk it over to the workbench, flip it over, track saw it down, and take it to the table saw to finish it, or however you finish it. I kind of wish I had some type of work table right here, and mine ended up rearranging my shop. And then the third and final section is kind of offcuts and shorts. I have some offcuts of trim, offcuts of hardwoods, offcuts of various things. On my short square plywood offcuts go here. So this upper section is for plywood rips. They have to be 8 foot long to go here. Anything like a plywood cut off that ends up being like a square or rectangle of some kind goes over here, and you can see it's overflowing right now. And then anytime I'm doing like a shelf, a jig, a drawer, I come here and pull what I can out of this first to make my drawer boxes. Any jigs I need to make, and that's where I go first to try to make what I need. And then if there's not there, then I'll go here, then work down to the whole sheet. And it seems like it's been really good for efficient plywood use. Eventually it does get to the point where I just have to cull it and get it down to a manageable size, and it's quickly getting there. But I have a big cabinet job I'm working on right now, so hopefully I'll use up a lot of the scraps, and after that I'll cull it down, and then I'll just set like a minimum size of stuff to use. So yeah, so that's my lumber rack. It takes up about 5 foot of space by 8 foot in my shop. So what's that? 5 by 8, about 40 square feet of my shop is just lumber rack, which is a lot, but with the type of work I do, it's better to sacrifice the space to have lumber on site whenever I need it than going and making constant trips to the store. That would just eat up too much of my day. Even having lumber delivered constantly, it's a delivery charge every time. So I try to buy enough at once to, 1, reduce delivery charges, and 2, I'm able to get a better pro discount from a local hardware store by ordering more in bulk at a time. So that's my lumber rack. Is it perfect? No, but it's the one I have, and it's the one I'm going to be using for the foreseeable future. but I'm brainstorming ideas of different lumber racks I can use. And go back a few years ago, and I have a really cool lumber rack where I was able to just throw plywood down on a workbench. It actually held it at an angle for me and on a big shelf that I could just tilt it off of. But due to space constraints, I had to get rid of it. If I had no space constraints, I'd go back to that. So check that old video, I'll link to it in the description. And thank you for watching. I hope this video was useful to you in some way. Be sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share it with somebody, help me grow this thing. And if you're watching this in May 2020, we have an upcoming 15,000 subscriber giveaway. As soon as I hit 15,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away one of the new Festool TID18 impact drivers. And I'm going to do a live Facebook giveaway or YouTube giveaway for that. So if you're watching this video then, be sure to subscribe so you can be part of that. And if you're watching it after that, subscribe anyway, because maybe I'll do something like that again in the future. Have a nice day. See you later.